When building a gaming PC, the graphics card is a very important part to ensure you can run the games you want to play on the highest possible graphics settings. For many, the graphics card can seem like a very confusing piece of computer hardware to purchase since there are so many different brands, names, and numbers on top of the actual graphics card specifications. And this is all on top of actually deciding which card is best for you and what PC games you play, at what graphics quality and for what price. Step 1. Budget. Yep, I am using the budget as the number one step again for choosing your PC gaming hardware. This is because you may be surprised at how fast you might go over budget when piecing together numerous pieces of relatively expensive hardware. And the graphics card is no exception, and it will be most likely either the most expensive or second most expensive purchase in your gaming PC build overall. Graphics cards may be able to be easily budgeted, as you could potentially choose this after considering which processor you'd like to purchase, or you could honestly choose which graphics card you'd like to purchase first depending on what you find will work best for your gaming goals. The only downside to choosing a cheaper, lower quality graphics card is that you will most likely have to play at lower graphics quality in PC games, but sometimes if you do your research you can find graphics cards that are the best possible value for your money. For example, when choosing hardware, I will always choose the best value for your money graphics card for a specific pricing category, while also giving you an estimate at what resolutions and generalized game settings that particular build will support. Step 2. What games do you play? Choose a card based on the games you play. Why? Because why buy a top-of-the-line graphics card when you don't need to, or you probably want to make sure you can actually play the games you want to play on the highest possible settings, even those games you may plan to play in the future. After all, you are going through all of this to build a gaming PC. So how exactly do you choosing a card based on the games you play? Well, there are a number of ways. The number one thing I recommend is checking the minimum recommended hardware requirements for a PC game. Take the minimum graphics card recommendation and compare it to other graphics card benchmarks. Look up the benchmarks for the recommended graphics card, and then compare it to the graphics card you want to purchase, or have. If the benchmarks for the card you are purchasing are higher, then you can play the game. A slightly less complicated step is to just ask. Go to any computer hardware site and ask for people's recommendations or thoughts on a graphics card choice you have for the specific game you want to play. Also, look up gameplay videos or benchmarks using a particular graphics card on YouTube. For example, search GTX 5700 in Fortnite benchmarks. There are plenty of people who record themselves playing every game imaginable while stating the hardware they are using. Look for things like what frames per second, FPS, they are getting, at what resolution they are playing it, and at what graphics settings. Check the Systems Requirements Lab. To use this step you will have to already have a computer set up. The System Requirements Lab will tell you whether your present hardware can run any number of PC games. This would be perfect if you have most of your hardware already and are shopping for a new graphics card, or if you want to know whether your current hardware is good enough for the game you want to play. Step 3. What resolution and setting do you want to play your games at? What peripherals will you be using? You may have chosen the top-of-the-line graphics card and are thinking to yourself, kick-ass. However, what if you have nothing worthwhile to attach it to? What would be the point in having a fully capable graphics card that could pump out 60+ FPS at 1440p resolutions and all you have is a crisp 1080p monitor? Also, always make sure you have a compatible monitor for your graphics card. Check both your monitor connections and what the graphics card is able to connect to. Final words, for choosing your gaming PC graphics card. Hopefully, I have provided you with a relatively clear understanding of what you need to do to choose a graphics card for your new gaming PC build. The graphics card, in my opinion, can be a complex PC hardware piece to choose when building a new PC due to numerous naming schema like RTX 2080 Ti or RX 5700 etc. So don't worry if at first sorting through the numerous cards you are feeling overwhelmed, because it is. If you have any more question, please do not hesitate to ask any questions.